are like my family members.
John, what's your reaction to these comments?
You know, Rampage said that I'm very disrespectful, but in fact, he's the one that's actually disrespectful. I remember at the pre-press conference, he turned his back to me and pointed and laughed and made numerous comments that day that were highly disrespectful. So it's funny now that you're starting to get a little sore and a little weak closer to the fight and say that I'm disrespectful. Trying to make me look like I'm putting you as the victim, but really, you're the one with the jerk the whole time, Quinn.
Rampage, your reaction to that?
This kid, you know what I'm saying, it's mandatory in fighting that you do a stare down, and this kid, you know, got one of these weak ass stare downs. He don't even look at me, so what am I supposed to do? So I did turn my back to him and look somewhere else. I don't play those little kid games. And you know, I'm not here to argue about who started what and stuff like that, but all I got to say is, come tomorrow, I'm going to teach this kid some respect.
All right, let's move on now.
With this little punk.
Rampage, you've spent north of $1 million in training. What makes this camp different from the ones in the past with you?
Well, this camp right here is the one. It's the one where I put a big stamp on my legacy. I'm getting my belt back. There's no doubt about that. I put all the work in. I'm getting my belt back, and that's it's worth every penny I spent.
Rampage, there's another storyline here now. You accused John's camp of spying. Why?
Because it's true. I had a couple of feelings, and a guy tweeted me on Twitter and telling me, and it made my suspicion grow farther, and a couple of things happened. So I faked the injury, got right back to John Jones' manager, and we just found out who the spy was, and he's terminated. He's no longer working right now. So we found out exactly who the spy was. It's true. Everything I said was true. So who was the spy, Rampage?
Rampage, who was the spy? You don't mind asking, answering that.
Hey.
Well, why don't you tell the world who the spy was, Rampage?
Only reason why I won't tell the world who it is because the guy did work at Muscle Farm, and the guys at Muscle Farm found him, and they fired him, and I didn't want to bring Muscle Farm on top. But the guy did work there in the office at Muscle Farm, but the owner of Muscle Farm found the guy and fired him. What's his name, Anthony?
Yeah, Leonard's name.
His name is Leonard, and you know Leonard because you send him K-Swiss shoes and stuff. And everything from your manager. He's got great friends with your manager.
I was sending him K-Swiss shoes. I have no clue who Lennox is, Rampage.
All right, guys.
You know,
listen, you need help, buddy.
We're gonna have to move on here with this. Now, Rampage, you're a former champ.
Guilty, homie.
Rampage, you're a former champ. What would it mean to you and your legacy to win this title again, especially with the animosity you two guys have?
Well, you know what? I'm still salty about losing my title. You know, I felt like you got to beat the champ to be the champ, and I still don't feel like I was beat in that fight to lose my belt. And I've been training like a champion ever since. I always trained to go 5 rounds. So in my mind, I've always been the champ. And so this is my time to prove to my fans that it was a fluke of me losing my belt and me getting my belt back and defending my belt and then just leaving the sport. Still champion. That's the legacy I want to leave on this sport.
Well, John, you're 24. You've been called the next big thing in the UFC. What's your reaction to that kind of label?
I'm just working my butt off, and I train really hard. I'm very passionate about mixed martial arts, and that title kind of has been given to me by the media and by the fans of the sport, and it's an honor that they consider me and look at me as such a highlight for our sport, and it inspires me and motivates me to work to my potential and to make that reality. So I'm just honored and blessed to be sitting where I'm at today.
We're at the top of the hour here, 11 a.m. on the East. Kevin Nagani with David Lloyd, and we're talking to John Bones Jones and Rampage Jackson, getting you set for UFC 135. Rampage, why are you the guy to put John Jones in his place, considering how dominant he has looked in his last 7 fights?
Because the toughest person he fought was Shogun, and he was coming off injury. And like a year layoff and was very rusty. And no one's ever tested John Jones, and people have been scared of his reach and his wrestling. And me, I don't care about his reach, his wrestling, his stand-up, whatever, because if he takes me down, I'm getting right back up, and I'm very durable. I'm tough. I can take whatever he throws at me, little spinning surprises and stuff like that. I'm ready for him all. I've trained, I'm prepared. I'm gonna be right there in his grill, in his face, because I have no fear. I have zero fear of this kid. And everybody else showed him too much respect, but he gets no respect from me.
John, your reaction?
You know, Rampage keeps calling me a kid. He's been doing it for the last several months, and I'm going to really teach him respect when that time comes. As Rampage talks, I almost feel as if he's trying to convince himself that, you know, my past opponents were all injured or they're all not at their best. And
You're wrong.
Keep doing it. I think it's important for him to amp yourself up, especially this close to a fight, to amp yourself up and to make yourself believe that Shogun was hurt and all my other opponents were hurt and they didn't come ready, and the way I've made it this far is all by coincidence and all by fluke. But in the reality of things, Rampage, no one just walks through anything.
Out tomorrow, man.
You will be defeated.
Whoever telling you this stuff and coaching you is wrong, man. Whoever telling you this stuff and coaching you is wrong, Johns. They're wrong.
John Bones Jones and Rampage Jackson joining us here, getting ready for a huge fight in Denver tomorrow, UFC 135. Guys, you guys have been on a press tour before on Jimmy Kimmel earlier in the week, but we're noticing you're in different studios today in Denver. Is there a reason why?
Because today is a day that I
shouldn't
be doing this interview. I don't even want to be around this kid. They know not to put this kid around me today. Honestly, I don't do interviews. Normally on the day I cut weight, it's a bad look. They know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? They know what they're doing. I don't need no fake ass kid around me nowhere near
folks,
me.
You guys can go to the Pepsi Center. Go to the Pepsi Center here today in Denver and check out the weigh-ins. We'll be squaring off face-to-face at the Pepsi Arena. So check it out.
All right.
We'll see what happens.
John Bones Jones and Rampage Jackson. Guys, we appreciate the time. Looking forward to tomorrow's match in the Octagon, UFC 135. Thank you for joining us here on SportsCenter.